divine ones. When your soul starts vibrating faster than your past, it means something powerful is coming. Are you ready? Have you ever felt like something huge is about to shift, but you can't quite put your finger on what? Like the universe is silently whispering, "Get ready, this is it." Once there was a boy named Caleb. Quiet, awkward, always overlooked. Teachers said he was too slow, friends said he was too weird. But Caleb had visions, real ones. At night he'd dream of fire raining from the sky, voices in the wind telling him to stay calm, to wait. His family thought he needed therapy. But one day, after years of being mocked and misunderstood, a woman showed up to his village. She pointed right at him and said, You're the one I've been waiting for. The world needs you now." Turns out she was a prophet. And Caleb, he wasn't crazy. He was chosen the whole time. Divine ones, your moment is coming. Just like Caleb, you weren't born to blend in. You were born to break the mold. The reason you've been uncomfortable, the reason you've been misunderstood is because your soul is leveling up and the final step is around the corner. What if I told you that everything, your heartbreak, your loneliness, your delays, was preparing you for a spiritual promotion that's about to change your life? This video isn't just content, it's confirmation. Stay till the end, divine ones, because what I'm about to share will help you stay spiritually awake during the final step, before your true purpose explodes into motion. It's happening soon, and when it starts, you must be ready. Point 1. The quiet before the shift. Divine ones. Have you ever felt an unexplainable heaviness in your body, like you're carrying invisible weight? Or found yourself drifting from people and social spaces you once enjoyed, as though you were watching the world move from behind a glass window? That's not laziness, that's not depression. That's a divine cocoon forming around you. What feels like isolation is really preparation, a spiritual hush before a major shift. Just like nature goes eerily still before a storm, your spirit is pulling back to align with God's timing, not the world's chaos. Right now, God is moving in silence. This is the divine chess game. While the world rushes around looking for dopamine hits, drama, and applause, you're being drawn inward for something deeper. In biblical times, prophets often had to retreat into deserts, caves, wildernesses before their calling came to light. Like Elijah under the broom tree or Moses on the mountain, solitude was never a curse. It was always a signal, a quiet before the revelation, a pause before the power. And guess what? People around you feel it. They can't put their finger on it, but something about you has shifted. You're not as reactive, you speak less, but your words now carry weight. There's a quiet glow around you, a spiritual authority that doesn't scream, it simply exists. You're becoming the storm's calm eye. Even your laughter has changed. It's no longer for entertainment, it's born from knowing. And your smile, it's rooted in peace, not approval. This quiet season is sacred, it's holy ground. Don't treat it lightly, the old you is shedding. The noise of the world is being filtered out so you can finally hear the whisper of God. Use this stillness. Fast, not just from food, but from anything that clutters your soul. Pray with intention, not performance. Meditate in silence until your spirit speaks back. Write your revelations down. Detox from drama. Distance yourself from distractions. Because what's coming next is divine acceleration. The final step will not come with a warning. It will arrive swiftly and shake foundations. Those who ignored the stillness will scramble in confusion, but you'll stand anchored, steady, ready. Because you embraced the silence. Because you listened when heaven whispered. Because you prepared. Point 2. The final test. Oh, divine ones, fasten your seatbelts. Because right before your breakthrough, life gets eerily loud. The universe doesn't test you to trap you, no. This isn't a cosmic prank, it's divine preparation. The final test isn't for God to see what you'll do, he already knows. It's for you to realize how far you've come spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because when you're about to graduate to your next divine assignment, you don't get a pat on the back. You get a pop quiz from the cosmos. You might think you've healed from that toxic ex, till they slide back into your DMs, dripping in nostalgia and smelling like closure. Or maybe you're offered a golden opportunity that looks perfect on paper, but inside your spirit is twitching. That's not your anxiety, that's your intuition screaming, "Girl, this ain't it." Or out of nowhere, someone questions your integrity, throws shade, or spreads lies just when you're stepping into your purpose.
That's not coincidence. That's spiritual warfare disguised as drama. Here's the secret sauce. The final test is always a remix of your past. It knows your weaknesses, your patterns, your temptations. It doesn't show up as something foreign. It shows up as something familiar. Why? Because temptation wears the face you once called comfort. It mimics the rhythm of your old cycles. It's the ex you prayed away, the habit you buried, the insecurity you thought you outgrew. But guess what? If it costs your peace, it's overpriced. If it asks you to abandon your growth, it's not a gift, it's bait, spiritual psychologist Dr. David Hawkins famously said. Anything that causes you to contract is not of the higher consciousness. Translation: if it makes you feel smaller, it ain't divine. And let's be honest, growth rarely feels comfortable. God doesn't build warriors with soft winds. He builds you through resistance. That tension you feel, that's the stretch before elevation. So when the final test shows up, and it will, don't panic. Smile. That spiritual ambush is your graduation gown being zipped up. It means you're on the edge of breakthrough. You're being promoted in the spirit. Don't go back to the lesson just because the exam feels familiar. You're not who you used to be, and that final test, it's about to crown you victorious.
Point 3. The shift in identity. You can't carry your new blessing with your old identity, divine one. It's not just a cute quote, it's a spiritual law. Evolution always demands release. Just like a snake sheds its skin or a butterfly breaks free from its cocoon, stepping into divine alignment requires the death of who you thought you were. Your past identity, the one shaped by pain, rejection, and the need for approval, can't follow you into this next chapter. You were once the outsider, the black sheep, the misunderstood soul in the room who felt everything deeply but said nothing. But now the final step is here, and it's asking for your full, unfiltered self. No masks, no apologies, just divine truth. This isn't about ego, this is about authenticity. It's about understanding that spiritual growth often comes with spiritual isolation. You'll feel it in your bones when the old friend group no longer aligns. When that job, that relationship, that version of you that played small starts to feel like a lie. And that's okay, because truth has weight. And the truth is God is calling you higher, but elevation requires separation. You don't need everyone to get it. In fact, they won't. You'll be misunderstood. Eyes will roll. But clarity from the divine will always outshine the noise of the crowd. This new level of you requires boundaries so strong they might shake your voice the first time you use them. Your hands may sweat as you say no when you're used to saying yes just to keep the peace. But that's okay, because shaking means movement, and movement means growth. You are not that wounded, approval-seeking version of yourself anymore. You're the warrior now, the one who carries light, truth, and spiritual power, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. You're not asking for permission anymore, you're answering your calling. That's a divine pivot, not a request. The universe responds to energy, not excuses, so walk in it, speak in it, live in it, and when the fear creeps in, drown it out with truth. Say it out loud right now. I am becoming who I was born to be, because, divine one, you are, and the world needs exactly that version of you, unapologetically, powerfully, fully you. Point 4, the return of supernatural confirmation. Have you been catching 11:11 on clocks? Spotting butterflies at uncanny moments, or hearing songs that seem to speak directly to the depths of your soul? These are not random glitches in reality, Earth Angel. They're spiritual breadcrumbs, sacred nudges from the universe itself. This isn't your imagination running wild. This is alignment, cosmic alignment. You are tuning into a higher frequency, and what you're seeing, hearing, and feeling is the echo of divine intelligence, reminding you that you're on the right path. In ancient spiritual traditions, numbers have always held energetic significance. The number 1111 is often seen as a gateway, a master code of awakening. It symbolizes the merging of the physical and spiritual realms, a signal that you are standing in a powerful portal of manifestation. When you see 1111, it means the veil between worlds is thin, and your thoughts, intentions, and prayers are being heard with crystal clarity. And those butterflies? They're not just beautiful insects fluttering by. In spiritual symbolism, butterflies represent transformation, rebirth, and the soul's evolution. When they appear repeatedly, it's often a confirmation that you're undergoing a powerful internal metamorphosis. They bring messages from your spirit guides or loved ones on the other side, gently reminding you that you are never alone. Even music, those lyrics that hit you right in the chest, are often divine messages in disguise. Spirit speaks in the language you can understand, whether it's vibrations, visuals, numbers, or sound. Your soul knows. That's why your energy is so sensitive now. That's why you feel drained in rooms full of negativity, or suddenly pull back from people who once felt familiar. Your spiritual senses are coming online. You are discerning energy like a radar, scanning the unseen. This is the final step, Divine One. You're entering the stage where miracles no longer seem like fairy tales. They feel natural. You're tapping into the supernatural, what ancient mystics called gnosis, the inner knowing that bypasses logic. The truth is, you're remembering who you really are, an intuitive, radiant being with access to divine intelligence. Don't dismiss the signs. They are your divine compass. Ask your angels, your spirit team, your higher self, and then watch. Watch how the answers come through dreams, through strangers, through sudden clarity. The veil is lifting, the miracle is near. Point 5, the shift in atmosphere. Ever walked into a room and felt like all eyes were on you before you even said a word? Divine ones? That's not your imagination. It's not ego, it's energy. When your spiritual frequency rises, you don't just exist in a space, you shift it. This isn't just poetic language, it's science and spirit dancing together. Everything in the universe vibrates at a frequency, including humans. When you've done inner work, healing trauma, aligning with truth, praying, fasting, forgiving, elevating your thoughts, your frequency ascends. You become like a tuning fork that others can't ignore. Whether they recognize it consciously or not, people feel you. Your presence carries weight. That's spiritual authority. This is the final step of transformation, the part where you don't need to perform, preach, or prove. Your power is no longer something you reach for, it's something you are. It precedes you. And when you walk into a room, you don't just enter, you announce, not with noise, but with presence. Some people will be drawn to your energy like moths to a flame. Others, they'll flinch, squirm, roll their eyes, or suddenly go quiet. That's not your cue to shrink. That's your confirmation that you've become undeniable. See, energy doesn't lie. And when yours is clean, high, and connected to purpose, it disrupts falsehoods. You'll find that some folks can't even look you in the eyes, not because you intimidate them with arrogance, but because your light exposes their shadows. And guess what? That's not your problem. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be light. You weren't made to blend in, darling. You were made to break cycles, lift generations, and walk in uncommon favor. And that kind of energy can't be boxed, explained, or diluted. So don't waste time trying to soften your glow to make others feel okay in their comfort zones. If they're meant for your journey, they'll adjust their shades. If not, bless them and keep rising. Your light isn't loud, it's legendary. It's the kind that changes rooms, hearts, and futures just by showing up. And now, Divine One, it's your time to walk boldly in that purpose, not for attention, not for applause, but because your presence is the message. Point 6. The unlocking of divine purpose. This is the part where your gifts get loud, where the whisper you've been ignoring becomes a roar you can't deny. You've spent seasons convincing yourself that you're not ready, not worthy, not there yet. But the truth is, readiness isn't your job, obedience is. And now in this final step of your spiritual unfolding, heaven is rearranging circumstances, orchestrating encounters, and dropping divine assignments at your feet. Expect those seemingly random moments, an unexpected message, a stranger's kindness, a door opening that logic can't explain. That's not coincidence, that's divine coordination. That's your purpose announcing itself to the world through opportunity. Maybe you've been sitting on your talents like they're breakable glass, afraid to move too soon. But now is not the time for silence. Now is the time for surrender. Say yes to the invitation, even if your voice shakes when you answer. Step into rooms your ego says you're unqualified for, because here's the twist. You're not there for applause or acceptance. You're there on assignment. Heaven placed you in that space not because you fit the mold, but because you're meant to break it. Your voice, it's more than sound, it's sacred frequency. Your story, it's not just for you, it's a medicine someone else is waiting on. And your obedience, it's the bridge between someone else's breakdown and their breakthrough. Don't underestimate what your yes can activate in someone else's life. Science even shows that storytelling impacts brain chemistry, engaging areas tied to empathy and transformation. That's not just data, that's divine design. You don't need a fancy resume, a viral moment, or a perfect plan. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. You're not late, you're not lacking. You're right on time for a purpose that's been waiting on your courage to catch up. Move even if you're trembling. Trust even if you're terrified. Because when your gifts get loud, miracles follow. Heaven doesn't need your perfection, it needs your participation. This is the moment. Don't quiet your calling, amplify it. Let the world hear what God whispered to you in secret. You're not just stepping into your destiny, you're unlocking doors for others too. So step up, speak out. This is your spiritual megaphone. Point 7, the activation of divine timing. Finally, divine one's timing. You've cried yourself to sleep, asking the heavens why it hasn't happened yet. You've fasted, prayed, journaled, and questioned your worth more times than you can count. Maybe you even started to wonder if God had gone quiet, or worse, forgotten you altogether. But let's get something clear. Silence is not absence. Delay is not denial. The universe, in all its divine intelligence, operates on a timing that is sacred, not rushed. It's not human time, it's soul time. And soul time is precise. In nature, we see divine timing everywhere. A caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly because it wants to. Its wings emerge only when it's endured the pressure of the cocoon. If you cut the cocoon too soon, the butterfly dies. It's the struggle that makes the wings strong enough to fly. Likewise, you weren't being punished during your waiting season. You were being prepared. Character was being carved out in you. Wisdom was being forged in your silence. You were being made strong enough to keep the blessing, not just receive it. That locked door, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. That delay, it was divine. And those people who left you high and dry, they were never equipped to go where you're about to be sent. Now those same people might try to return, sensing your glow up from afar, but you'll see them differently. Not from a place of bitterness, but from a place of clarity. Because divine timing doesn't just open external doors, it awakens internal knowing. There's a precision to divine timing that human logic can't predict. Think of it like spiritual surgery. The right connections, resources, and opportunities show up the moment your spirit is aligned to handle them without self-sabotage. Not a second sooner, not a second later. You had to lose what was fake to receive what's real. You had to walk through that wilderness to appreciate the promised land. So yes, trust the delays, trust the silence, trust the strange detours that made no sense at the time. The rejection that broke your heart was the protection of your destiny. And now it begins. The timing wasn't off, it was perfect, because you are finally ready. It starts now. Divine ones, your journey has been anything but easy, but that's because you weren't born for easy. You were born for impact. This final step isn't the end, it's the ignition. Everything in your life has been building up to this. So what do? Stay in alignment, stay prayed up, don't shrink, don't settle. This next season will ask for your full authenticity, your wildest faith, and your softest heart. Give it. Remember, storms don't scare you anymore. You are the storm. Step forward, chosen one. The world is waiting and heaven is watching. It starts soon. Prepare yourself. This is the final step. Stay awake on your spiritual journey. We need you. The world needs you. Let's rise.